Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it. Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Hallelujah.
All right. So we're doing this. I don't know what it is, what it's going to become.
If it even is anything.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's now a thing. We've just made it a thing.
Cool. Welcome to the first thing.
Yes. Welcome.
Why don't we introduce ourselves?
Okay.
Why don't you tell us who you are?
Oh, okay. I am Meredith Zinner. I am a family and pet sometimes event photographer in Brooklyn, New York. And you, kind sir?
I am your husband. That's honestly how I introduce myself around the neighborhood. As I say, I'm Meredith's husband. I also do marketing. I do website marketing. I've been doing that for like 15 years. I helped you build a website and get people to see that website. And that's how you get your clients, is it not?
Yes. Yes, that is how I get my clients.
Do you get clients any other way?
Occasionally I get clients via Yelp.
Okay.
Believe it or not, despite their...
What about referrals? Do you ever get?
I get some referrals, but oddly enough, clients seem to want to keep me to themselves and not share.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Occasionally, there'll be one client who's like, share to everybody, but mostly everyone just kind of holds me very close.
Right. Even when you do get referrals,
how
do those work out typically?
I just shot a new client that was referred to me by another client, and they seemed very pleased.
Okay. And then I seem to remember you doing things like giving away an auction, like a free session to an auction or something like that.
I did that when I started. I did that way back when I started, because it's one of the things I was told, that's a good way to get the word out in the community. But what ended up happening is the family was psyched with everything I did. But since I've been a photographer for a long time and invested a lot in my business, my prices are not your just give everything away.
That's because you're a good photographer.
And I'm a good photographer.
Why your prices there.
Yeah. And so they were thrilled with that, but then they couldn't afford to hire me after.
Yeah.
But they had all the pictures. They had everything on their walls. They got everything. And they were super appreciative. They were great people too. I really enjoyed that family.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have some questions from some of your photographer colleagues.
Yes. And I actually have not looked at them. So I wanted everything to be fresh. So hang on one second. Let me just pull them up. So here are some of the questions. I'm a photographer, videographer, working in a very saturated market. I recently hired an SEO specialist, and they helped me set up Google My Business, Google Console, and Google Analytics. And on my website, they helped me with my meta descriptions, keyword tagging on my images, and H1s. The best I ever ranked was page 10 on a Google search. And that's the first part.
Okay. So, let me, because there's a lot there. So those are all good things. Your Google My Business, your Google Search Console, Google Analytics. Those are all good things. You got to put those in place. That's like step number one, because otherwise you have no idea of knowing if what you're doing is actually working or not. So you got to get those in place. And then you can take a step further and do some stuff to like get automated updates. And so you don't have to like every day go in and look at Google Analytics.
How would you do that?
That's not a fun. Well, I mean, that's kind of, I think that's more involved. I understand if even like once you have Google Analytics set up, your next question is probably going to be, well, that's great, but what am I going to do? What am I going to do now? Like, I don't want to go check that every day.
Yeah, I would.
So there are ways to get around that. Number two, she mentioned that she had ranked, the best she had ranked was like page 10. So I would be curious what exactly keywords.
Also, you don't know if it's a she or a he. Let's just start with that.
Oh, right. Okay.
But you could, for shits and giggles, we could say it's a she.
Well, we'll try to mix it up and go she, he, she.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds good. And they.
So you don't.
Too.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, you don't. If she's just, or he or they are just checking one keyword or key phrase manually, that's a pretty. You're trying to get a sense of like what is happening, and you're just looking at a very small slice of the pie. So that rather than do that, I mean, there's also ways to track all your keywords at once and get updates and see the average trend. But also you would probably want to look at your organic search traffic, because you don't know what keywords are going to be delivering traffic. Trust me on that. Trust me on that one. Over 15 years, nobody has ever said, oh, this is going to be my keyword. And that's the one keyword that drives all the traffic. Right. First, there are so many variations. People search so many different ways that you really don't know exactly what keywords are going to deliver traffic. So check it. So checking that way, because I guarantee for his or her business name, she's or he is probably not on page number 10, probably number 1, or towards the top. So it depends on what keyword. So saying, oh, I'm on page number 10, that a website is never on page 4. Like certain keywords might be on page 4, but if somebody searches for this photographer by name or their business name or their address or their phone number, or they're doing image searches. So there's so many different ways that you can get organic traffic. It's not about one keyword.
And what, I mean, again, since you've been doing this for me for X amount of years, I don't even know what organic traffic is. Like, could you even describe what that means?
So when you do a Google search, you're going to, you get a list of results, and the top usually 2 or 3 are going to be ads. Okay. And the little things that say ad or sponsored, they're always changing it or trying to make it look like they're not ads. Right. Those are ads. That's paid search. It's sometimes called pay-per-click, or it's usually called pay-per-click paid search. Sometimes it's called SEM versus SEO, but you pay for that traffic. That's not organic traffic. Organic traffic is everything that's going to happen usually after the local pack. So the local pack is the map that comes up.
Okay.
With 3 things right beneath it. Right. There's different types. Then there's those local pack. There's, people also ask, and then there's questions. That's also considered organic. And then typically the first 10 listings on that Google page, those are the organic results. Okay. So you do not pay for those. Like somebody clicks on that, you don't pay anything. The paid ads, somebody clicks on that, you pay $3 or $5 or whatever.
Okay. And then here's another question. If you click on any number of those top 10 or what have you, does that then help that site rise? Okay.
No.
So you can't just sit there clicking your own site thinking it's going to make a totally difference.
That's kind of it's not a common myth, but I've heard that several times. But if you think about that, that wouldn't work, because then once websites get to the top, how would they ever be replaced? Right. Like, What can become a factor is what they call dwell time. So Google does know if you do a Google search and you click on a website and then you get to that website and you come back, you're like, no, this is terrible, and you go back. Right. Google does know that. They do see that. So if 100% of people go to a website, if they return back to Google 2 seconds later, then Google is going to have an indicator that website is not great. Oh, wow. Whereas if somebody, let's say the opposite is true, somebody clicks on a website and they never come back, or they come back, let's say the average is 10 minutes later or 20 minutes later, Google also sees that. And that's an indicator, hey, that website must be pretty good because people stay on it for a while.
Right. And do they also track that there's movement on the website, or, could you just grab a sandwich and then come back and look at the website? And would Google go like, okay, they've spent,
I don't think anybody can really say for sure outside of Google. If you have Google Analytics installed on your website, and most people do, then yes, they will know where the mouse is. They will know how long you're looking at the page, if you're scrolling, if you're clicking. But I don't think that information crosses over into rankings.
Right.
Like whether or not people are clicking is not going to help you. It's not going to adjust your rankings. Don't bet on that.
I like how you are so impassioned. You smashed your microphone.
Could you hear that? Yeah, I whacked it pretty good.
I am telling you. All right. Awesome. That's very good. Can I ask more questions?
Yeah. It sounded like she or he had more to his or her question.
Well, it said the SEO Pro also gave me some homework to help me rank better. And there were 3 things. There was create content blogging, get Google reviews, and acquire backlinks. And then they said, and because I never had time to do the homework, I am now not ranking at all. Is it really important for me to do all that? Any other suggestions? What is the least amount of effort I could do to rank higher and get organic searches? That is
everybody in the world is asking that question.
Would ask
and they have been.
How can I sit back and eat chocolate and just get better rankings without having to lift a finger?
Yeah, I wish I could answer that question.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You are certainly not alone. However, it's not possible. If you want to, I think kind of like anything in life, if you want really good results, you're going to have to either do something or pay something.
Right.
There's no easy button where it's like, I want fame and fortune. I want it fast and I want it cheap
now.
And,
right.
Yeah.
Cheap.
But occasionally things like that, opportunities come along, but the problem is that everybody does them. Yeah. And then once everybody is doing it, it's no longer going to give you an amazing result. So you have to either put work and time into it, or you need to pay somebody. And if you pay somebody, if you want good results and you want to just sit back and do nothing and pay for it, it's going to be expensive. It's going to,
and it's going to be expensive. Why? What is the amount of work that does go in?
If the people who are good at that, think about it. The people who are good at that can make a lot of money doing it.
Right.
I can do that. Let's say I have that skill. Am I going to do it for, a photographer who can pay me $500 or $1,000 or maybe $2,000? Or will I do it for Nike who can pay me $100,000?
Photographers.
Exactly. And that's why I'm here.
Right. That makes sense. I mean, it's the same reason why photographers charge money, because they're good at it. They have experience.
Exactly.
And you get what you pay for.
Everybody has a camera in their pocket. Mm-hmm. Why would they hire a photographer?
Right.
And why do some photographers charge more? Because they're better. And if you could imagine, if you could take the perfect photo that when anytime anyone saw it, they would weep with joy.
Yeah.
You could charge a lot of money for that.
Right.
So
why is it that everybody just wants to pay the least amount for the most amount of work? I feel like it's I don't know if it's a human or American thing.
I think that's, I don't know.
I really want all this, but I don't want to have to pay so much for it.
I think it's kind of I think that is an American thing. It's a human thing, but I think Americans really have grabbed hold of that.
Is it because bargains? We've been taught.
I don't know.
You want a bargain. That's why on sale everything looks so much more appealing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably bonus material.
Okay,
and that's episode. I don't know.
That's another podcast, I think.
Yeah. Human nature and why do Americans,
why are we so cheap?
Something for nothing.
I think it's the American dream. I think we all think we're just entitled to fame and fortune without lifting a finger, because we're shown that, you go to the grocery store and you get discovered and all of a sudden, you're this, but nobody follows through to when you're not that. I digress.
Yeah. I think that's social. I just one other thought. I think social media has kind of helped that along.
Perpetuate
it. It's made it a lot, everything more immediate. So everybody, It used to be, hey, if you want a million, customers or audience of 1 million or 1 million fans, how long would that take? Well, now with social media, you could probably have that overnight if you did the right thing,
right. Bought them.
Or hell, 15 minutes from now, you could be world famous technically.
That's so crazy. Have we finished those questions? Because I have another question from someone else.
Yeah, I think, you do. It is important to do homework.
Right.
And the homework that she was given, that is accurate. You're going to need content because you're going to want that content to attract backlinks. Backlinks
what are backlinks?
Yeah, so backlinks are, so this is something that is, I think it's difficult for anybody who's not in the SEO industry to kind of understand, but all of Google kind of relies on the way that websites link to each other in order to determine their rankings.
Like the roots of trees?
Kind of. But they don't just look at the words on your page and then say, oh, well, that person is obviously talking about XYZ, so they should be ranked number 1. Oh, this person over here talks more about XYZ, so they should be ranked number 1. I mean, that's a part of SEO. That's what they call on-site SEO. But you may have heard the term on-site, off-site. Off-site SEO is those links, building links or backlinks to your site. I guess the way I sometimes think of it is imagine it's kind of a popularity contest. And so think back to like high school when you have you're popular. Who are the 10 smartest people in your class? And you have high school A.
Yeah.
And they survey everybody. They go to every student and say there's 1,000 students, and they say, who are the top 3 smartest people in your class? And everybody lists 3 people. Well, then it would be fairly easy to then you're going to have, if there's 1,000 people and everybody has 3 votes, that's 3,000. You get 3,000 votes. Then you can easily rank them 1 through 10. This is the smartest one. This is the second smartest one. It would be very easy to do. That's what Google does. That's how they determine their rankings. What other search engines, especially in the past, and what some of them still do, is they will go, let's say there's another high school exactly the same, high school B. Everything is exactly the same, but instead of asking everybody for their top 3, they go around and they ask everybody, are you one of the smartest people in your high school? and then they try to, you can imagine, you'd probably have 950 people claiming that they're the smartest person in the high school. So what are those results going to look like?
Right.
So that's Google versus other search engines. That's also why links are important. So if you want to be the smartest person in your high school, you got to get other people to think. They got to vote for you. And that's what backlinks are.
And how do you actually literally go about creating backlink? What does that mean?
Some of the ways you can do it, like number 1, think about what Google is trying to do. So they're trying to just see how these websites link to each other naturally. So the ideal situation is you create some content that's so great that everybody just links to it naturally. You don't have to do anything to go out and ask for backlinks. You just get them naturally. That's what Google wants to. That's what they want to see is who has the best sites. What you could do is go to your local businesses. If you are a children's photographer in Brooklyn, for example, go to a children's toy shop and say, hey, I'm going to write a blog about you guys because I think you're the best. You're the best toy store in Brooklyn. Would you mind giving me a linking to my website? That's that sort of thing.
And what does that mean when they link to your website?
So they have it's just a website link. When you are on a website and you see something and it's a link and you click it and you go somewhere else, that's a link. You just want them to link from their website to your website.
Okay.
Now, there is also value in social media mentions. If they promote you on their social media, Google can also read social media. Facebook, a lot of Facebook is behind closed doors, but everything on Twitter, if Google will see if 50 million people are talking about something on Twitter and they're all talking about this one website, Google sees that.
Right.
That's not the exact same thing as linking, but it's similar. Okay. It's a similar ranking factor.
And then I have a question. Everyone keeps talking about when you're creating a website or uploading pictures to a website to create tags. What does that mean?
meta tags or alt tags.
Yeah.
Image alt tags.
I don't know. They just say you've got to. I've been told you have to tag your images, and it's not like you're it.
Right. Yeah. So there's something that you can put in every image. It's called an image alt tag, and it's the text that would display if somebody had imagine if you were, browsing a website and you had the images turned off, there would be some little text there.
Oh yeah, right.
That's the image alt tag, and it was meant for visually impaired people so that they could, they have their Braille readers. I actually don't know how vision impaired people interact with websites, but they would be able to. Yeah, they would be able to.
Next guest on our podcast.
Yeah. So that was the original intent. SEOs at some point started stuffing keywords in there. So then Google started penalizing sites if you're trying to stuff your keywords and image alt tags. So my advice when you're creating image alt tags, don't fill them with your keywords. It really doesn't matter, especially if Google is really good at recognizing faces in images. So if you have a smiling picture of a man or woman, don't call it like a grapefruit, like for example, or Google's going to know. So right. Just try to, your goal is to describe what it is that's in that image. As
genuine as possible without being the best Brooklyn photographer.
Yes, don't do that. Oh God, that's awful.
Right.
Just imagine you have like 5 words. Don't make it a sentence, but you have up to like 5 words to explain to somebody what that image is who's not looking at it.
Sorry, our puppy just got hold of my cord. Can you say that last bit again? Describe the image of what?
Describe the image as best you can. Imagine somebody who's somebody who's looking at the website and they can't see the image. Explain to them in 3 to 4, maybe 5 words what image that is.
Right. Happy puppy, long hair, cute.
Yeah.
Destroying a would be the picture of our puppy.
Yeah.
Destroying.
And you don't have to make it like chunky keywords like that. You can say
right. Clearly.
A cute puppy plays with his toy.
Right.
Or her toy, whatever.
Their toy.
Yes.
Okay.
Does that trend hit dogs yet? Are they should we introduce like Buster when people say, is it a boy or a girl? Well, technically they have a penis, but she identifies.
Yeah, why not? I'm all for it. However anyone wants to identify, that is their choice. Okay, so I have another friend who said, is there anything I can do with Instagram or Vimeo to boost my SEO? And then, that's one of them.
Sure. Instagram I don't think there's a lot of crossover between what is happening on Instagram and happening on Google. Although some, like the Twitter example, if 1 million people were sharing your Instagram post or commenting on it, engaging with it, Google will see that. Google also knows if people engage with a social media post or a Twitter, if they reply, those things help too. Better, it would be Vimeo, because that can help you in a couple different ways. Number one, your video could be displayed right within search results if it's public. So so that's another way to get eyeballs on your content. If you have a video you want to share, you can do that. If you don't want your Vimeo image or your Vimeo property to appear in search results, you can make it private. There's privacy settings, and then just embed that video directly on your website.
Oh,
that's what I would do typically, unless you're trying to build like a Vimeo channel or something.
Right. I don't know if they are. And then I have a final question.
Mm-hmm.
It is, any suggestions on what I can do with my WordPress-based website to make it an SEO superstar?
Ooh, that's a big topic.
We may need to save it for next time.
That's a big topic. Yes. So yeah, certainly. That's what I've been doing for 15 years.
Right. Do we address it, or do we keep it
I'm gonna give you like kind of big picture what that is about. Great. So similarly, you have your on-site SEO and your off-site SEO. So you can fix up the on-site SEO. You can use a tool called SEMrush.
How do you spell that?
SEMRUSH.
Okay, I thought it was SEMrush, but it's
SEMrush, Search Engine Marketing Rush. Anyway, there's a million tools that will help you with that, but they're they're definitely the best. And then you need to get content and links. So yeah, there's an infinite number of strategies that you can use to create your content. There's no limit. Like the more useful it is, the more likely people are.
Sorry.
The more
we're very professional here.
Yeah. The production value is insane in this show. Because it is, because we've spent zero.
We spent zero.
We have spent nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
So you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
Very
nice.
Yeah. If you come up with some content that is like unheard of up until now, and it's so great that everybody loves it and links to it, yeah, that's one strategy. There's all sorts of types of methods you can use to, hey, what type of content should I create? And some is going to be better than others. Typically, when we do like what we call a strategy for a bigger brand, when we're evaluating their SEO, one of the steps we do is we go and look at the competitors who are ranked 1, 2, 3, all the big players in an industry, and we look to see how they're getting their links. And a lot of times they'll have blogs, and the blogs are attracting the most links. But then within those blogs, they might have 100 blogs, 100 articles, or 200 or 1,000 or 20,000. It's inevitably going to be 1 or 2 blogs that has 98% of all the links. So when you create this content and you're attracting links, don't think that every piece of content you create has to be, lightning strike genius type of material. You'll come up with something that's going to do a lot better than the others. And so it's kind of like practicing. You can't be a fantastic football player if it's the first time you ever walk on the field. Right.
Damn it! I just really thought that was in my future. Okay, hold on. Let me just cross that off my. Hold on, I got to cross that off my list. No footballer.
If you practice, you'll get better at it, and someday you might be able to kick a football straight.
Probably not. I don't know. All right, that's great. Thank you. Is there a place that we can have people send in questions?
Okay, since recording this, we've learned that there are things called show notes. And if you want to send us a question, there's a link there you can use. Okay.
All right. That sounds good. Well,
that was a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. And I think we did very well for our first podcast. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
And please, if we have the ability, subscribe. Even though I don't know if we will even.
Yeah, you can't subscribe yet.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure
it out. But we don't want to take up any more of your time. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Hey, thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, yes, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.